When our minds are hijacked by lies or by negative thoughts or horrible conversations that we're saying to ourselves, or with just a poor relationship with ourselves like you're talking about, I think it's hard to feel fulfilled and light energetically.
Absolutely.
When our minds are hijacked by these lies and these negative thoughts. And so I'm so grateful that you found this framework for yourself.
Myself included.
And going back to the framework when you feel like stressed or overwhelmed, not that it's going to be perfect every moment, but having a framework to go back to. And I think if people subscribe to this framework or one that works for them like this, it will be powerful to overcome a lot of the mental challenges, the stress, the anxiety, the overwhelm, the depression thoughts that a lot of people have, and just the stress of life. It's not easy.
The reason I think this is so helpful, like I said, this book has been a gift to me. So truly, it is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I'm confident it can be that for other people. But again, even if it's not, it has done wonders for me. How I came about this also was thinking about, I talk about school and the workplace a lot. I talk about how I got so frustrated because I know how to deal with those problems, and I never knew how to deal with problems related to life. And I discovered that what all of those places have in common is they have like these pillars that are anchored into the ground. A bad teacher doesn't change the importance of education. You know, that pillar exists. You believe in education, and education is valued. We need to do that for ourselves. It's where you have pillars so deep where things don't alter those pillars. That is what I mean by a framework. And it's been so helpful for me because it's that thing I can keep going back to at the end of the day. Like I said, the safe place in your mind.
And what about manifesting? So, you know, when we want something and you say the relationship with the universe or God or whatever it is, I just saying, I want this role, I want this gig, I want this thing, I want this relationship. How do you think about it now in terms of, okay, if I want something from the universe, or if I want to land something or create something, what's your framework now? Are you saying, well, how can I be of service to my friends, my family, or my audience? How can I help more people? What is the way you think about it now?
Well, I think about things always bigger than myself. I don't think that I just solely got something by myself. I believe the universe is always at play. I believe in manifestation in that way. If I felt like my direct actions got me everything, that would be a very like egocentric way to live, I think. Of course, I've worked really hard, and that has contributed to it, but the universe is still at play and providing for me. I think, well, also on the note of manifesting, I should tell you, and this is not a joke, my vision board is in my shower.
Ooh.
I take it next level here. Vision boards are not very aesthetically pleasing, let's be real. My house is very neutrals and beiges, and my vision board is just such an eyesore. So last year I kept it in the back of my closet, but I didn't really see it often. So I was like, this year, that's it. January came, I taped it to the glass wall of my shower on the outside.
That's pretty cool.
So I see
look at it every
day when I take a shower.
Every 3 days, maybe.
And I cannot tell you the difference it has made.
Come on.
It is incredible. I know my visions like this, so many of them have come true already, and it's only April now. It's insane, the difference it has made. So let me just start there. But yes, I think about things as in the relationship I have with myself. That means that I know what I want. My priorities are clear. However, this thing does not define me. It is not going to be who I am now. And I, yes, will be the best, nicest, giving back person possible, because if I want the universe to provide, then I need to give something back.
So tell me, what does seeing your visions in front of you every day do for you?
First of all, it keeps my priorities in check. Focused, because I used to have this problem where I would get so many cool things in my inbox.
So many opportunities.
I have to say yes. How could I not say yes? This is so cool. This person's asking me to do something. It's awesome. And then at the top of this year, I thought, you're going to pick like a handful of priorities, and you'll only make decisions based on those priorities. So my vision board helps me keep those priorities in check. But it also helps me just kind of daydream and make it happen. So when I'm in the shower, I kid you not, like one of the things on my vision board, the top left thing is Disney Plus.
Come on.
I kid you not. And I made that before I got the audition for this.
So there was no show, there was no audition.
There was nothing.
You just had an idea.
I had two things on my vision board were audition success and Disney Plus. And then I got a Disney Plus audition and I got the lead role. I kid you not. And some of the people on my vision board that I've never hung out with, I have hung out since January.
Come on.
So I had the opportunity to hang out with like Reese Witherspoon recently, like in a way that we had some really cool conversations.
That's pretty cool.
She was on my vision board. And the opportunity to do that also came after I made this vision board. So I'm a big believer I'm a witch. I think we're all witches in some way. I'm 100% a white witch, yeah.
What do you think is happening when we, again, see a vision in our mind or see something we've put down on paper over and over? What do you think we're doing with our relationship with the universe?
I think we're making our needs clear. something we're not very good as humans. We don't usually make our needs clear. We like to beat around the bush and talk in between lines and all these things. But I think we make our needs clear and we make our desires clear. And more than anything, I think we subconsciously take actions then to lead to those things. You know, you can't have one without the other. Some people think I'll just make a vision board and then do nothing and these things will come to life. And some people think a vision board is garbage, I'll just work really hard. It's a combination of both of those things. You work really hard subconsciously towards a direction you have set out for yourself, and the universe will provide.
Man, the light is just coming out today. How did you know what to put on your vision board that was fulfilling or meaningful and not just this would be cool for the ego? Because I think some people were going to put big house, money, success, fame, growth of followers, or whatever it might be, which is not bad things. Like, hey, I'm all about getting the dream house and all those things. But how do you know I'm making a conscious decision on something that is a more beautiful future that will inspire and impact more people or help me as well, versus this is going to make me look really good to my friends?
I think the way I have gone about making vision boards is instead of thinking about the actual object, I think about what it will mean to me if I get it.
Ooh.
So, for example, and I love that you said it's not a bad thing, because I think I used to judge myself a lot, being like, I can't put money on my vision board. Like, that's so shallow. First of all, it's your vision board. You can do whatever you want with it. You know what I mean? But I do have things on I have a fancy car, I have a Rolex on there, I have a whole bunch of things. And the reason I put them on there is because I thought, I actually know what this means to me. It's not that I'm going to get this Rolex and now I'm a cool person that's better than other people and now it's that, oh, you know what, I've worked really hard. I think this Rolex looks really pretty and sometimes I do want to flex. And I agree that that's how I am. And I understand that, I'm aware about that, so I can get that.
Sure.
Things I have, like, don't forget to have fun. I know what that means to me because I know I want to value fun. I know what it feels like to go to set and have fun with those people, and I value that now. So I think we need to allow ourselves grace. If you have things on your vision board that are materialistic, that's completely fine. Just know what those things mean. And I think that's the biggest difference between my first and second book. My first book was a lot of hustle, goal setting, get that network connection, get all of that stuff. And this book is like, okay, what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
You know?
How can you get it and have peace inside?
Exactly. If you know why you want the things you want and you can put healthy value towards those things, I don't think it's wrong to put anything on your vision board.
What's the biggest mistake people make when it comes to manifesting?
Thinking that you don't have to work for it. I have a lot of Gen Z, I'm gonna call you out here. There's a lot of people that think, I made a vision board but nothing's coming true. You also have to work very, very hard still. But I think another thing is that people are not very specific when it comes to vision boards. Sometimes I'll see people's vision boards and it says success on it, or it says money. What is money? What does that mean? So when I make my vision board, I actually Photoshop myself into specific situations I want. Yes. I want to be on this magazine cover, this specific magazine cover. I Photoshop myself on that magazine and put it on my vision board.
That's cool.
Because I'm like, I'm not just going to put magazines. What does that mean? What does that mean that my cousin just started a school newspaper and now I'm on that magazine? Is that what it is? As specific as you can be with what you want, and then the universe will answer. The universe can get confused. You say money, they're going to make you find $10 on the street. Is that money?
Yeah. It's a quarter.
Exactly. Yeah. It's money. You said money. What is money?
Interesting. What magazine covers did you put yourself on?
I'm a big fan of Vanity Fair.
Have you been on it yet?
No, I'm not. Not yet, except for in my shower. I also... Who doesn't want to be on the cover of Vogue? Come on, Vogue is really, really dope. We like Forbes in this house. In this house, we like Forbes.
Household, yeah.
This household. Who doesn't want to be on time? 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I really pride myself on like the disruptive kind of, the disruptors of business.
I like this. Do you think it's possible to be extremely successful, accomplished, manifest everything on your vision board, be fulfilled internally, and be in a healthy, conscious, loving, long-term relationship?
My honest answer is that I do think it's possible, but I do not think all three of those things would get equal attention. That's my honest answer.
Yeah.
I have not figured out a way to be all of those things perfectly at the exact same time. And maybe that shouldn't be the goal. Maybe the goal should be that, hey, for right now, 50% of my energy is going to go here, and I have a loving partner that is on the same page with that because we've communicated about it. And I have therapy to help me figure out the parts of me that I cannot tend to because I'm working so hard on this. And then when seasons shift, maybe those percentages shift. And maybe it's like, hey, I just finished 6 movies, so now 60% of my effort is gonna go towards the relaxation. I think that's more realistic of life. I think it's that we need to understand we are on several places, on several spectrums, and that's okay. We don't have to be the definitive, I'm this and I'm this and I'm this. I think those energies will always be shifting, and I've come to peace with that.
Do you see people in Hollywood that have healthy relationships, like intimate, committed relationships long term? Do you see a lot of this happening? Or is there people you admire that have, besides like Jay and Roddy?
Oh, okay, you took them away. They're going to be my answer.
Yeah, exactly.
My honest answer is I don't know anyone well enough in this industry to genuinely answer that. Of course, on magazine covers and red carpets, I could say people are very in love. I don't know anyone well enough behind the scenes to know if that's true. But also, I guess it goes back to, for them, what is a successful relationship? For me, a successful relationship is where two people have are on the same page, they've communicated, and they have the same priorities. So could it be that someone's definition of success is that, hey, don't really care about this, we need to kill it together in business, we need to flex on this red carpet, and we need to be the beacon of love and light for people. If they're both on the same page, then they're succeeding in their eyes. And who am I to say that that's wrong?
Right.
As long as two people are on the same page, then that's success.
Yeah, I think for a long time I was like struggling in relationships, thinking like, do I need to just completely give up everything I'm doing to like put all the attention in the relationship?
Yeah.
Is there a way to do both? Can I take care of my health and run my business and be in a relationship? And I feel like I'm finally figuring it out. Only time will tell, obviously, but it's like...
Yeah, another idea I've had to unsubscribe from that didn't benefit me was that love shouldn't be work. I think a lot of people think love should come naturally, relationships shouldn't be work, and real love means that things just click. There's chemistry, you just click, they brighten up your day. That's all fine and well, but I've actually unsubscribed to that idea because it does not serve anyone. Relationships are work. Love can exist, it still requires work.
Yeah.
Relationships require compromise, and they require communication, and they require tough talks. That doesn't make the love any less. It's just that we've all believed this idea that love should be so effortless, which is not the case.
I agree with you, and I want to add an asterisk there. I like to use words, and I think work for some people means like it sucks.
Which is also an interesting idea.
I would like to, for some people, I think when they think the word, I don't think that, but when you think of work, it might seem like it sucks or something. So I'd like to use the words conscious energy. It takes energy for you to show up vulnerably, consistently. When you're annoyed or frustrated, it takes being conscious on how to choose your words, conscious energy on how to schedule things, plan things. I was telling my team today, last weekend, the day before I ran a marathon actually, but the day before.
Subtle flex.
Yeah, exactly. But I never wanted to do a marathon. It took me almost 6 hours.
Why would you? That sounds like my nightmare.
Yeah, it was actually a spiritual experience, but that's for another conversation. But the day before, I did a 5-hour therapy session with my therapist and my girlfriend. And I've always said to myself, I would like to start a relationship with conscious conversations about the future. And doing work together, or doing sessions together with an accountability therapist, coach, someone to help guide us on agreements and things like that. So what some might call work, I'm calling it conscious energy.
Yeah, fair.
Not when anything is wrong, but to make sure it keeps going great. And to have conversations which take work, if you want to call it work. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy.
Absolutely.
But definitely, you can't just show up and think everything's going to be perfect. You got to invest the energy.
What I've taken away from that story is that your therapist is securing the bag.
Yes.
What I took away from that story is that your therapist is securing. Good on you, congratulations.
Yes.
Lewis's therapist.
No, but it wasn't her saying this. It was me saying, like, I've been wanting to do this for years.
Yeah.
And I think it's been really helpful because it creates a sense of togetherness. It creates a sense of alignment. It creates a sense of agreements. All these things that I think relationships sometimes don't do until there's a disruption. Conflict.
Exactly.
So why not create it before that? So
therapy is the vitamin C.
It's incredible, right?
It's the vitamin C to everything.
That's it. It's it. So I think it's conscious energy. It's effort, but I think you're right. It doesn't just magically happen.
Absolutely. We need to let that idea go.
Yes. What is the biggest challenge you're faced with today then? Because it seems like you've got all these things manifesting from your vision board. You've got peace, inner peace. You're an authentic 10. You've got light radiating. Disney show, the book, Be a Triangle. You got, Canada's Got Talent host. You're like the star everywhere. Everything is coming.
It's a pretty cool time.
What is the biggest challenge? And even more importantly, what do you think is the biggest wound you have yet to fully face and do the work on to get to the next level?
My biggest challenge and something, my answer is kind of the same for both of the questions you asked, which is in my life, as much as I've done the work to detach from accolades, like I've talked about, what I've not been able to detach from thus far is the pressure of being a first. And in my life, I've been the first in many instances, whether it was YouTube, the first Indian girl doing things like this, first one on, the first Indian girl on billboards for YouTube, then the late night show was also a first. I get that headline a lot, the first. And for someone who hasn't lived the experience, it can sound like, why would you ever complain about that? That's awesome. You get to be in all these, you get to make history. You get to be the first. You were the first person to do things. It's wonderful and exhilarating and also horrendous at the same time. To be the first is a really lonely place to be because you not only have so much pressure of every minority looking up at you, expecting you to do right by them, which you cannot possibly do for everyone, but you also have no one to turn to when things get rough. Late night being the best example of that. When things got really rough for me, which other female late night host was I supposed to turn to and ask advice for? So because that has been a theme for so much of my career, this first idea, it's such a big concept to say, but I've associated my success a little bit with history making, which is a really heavy thing to associate yourself with. Like, I have to make history every time I do things.
Every 6 months you're making history,
I have not been able to, if I'm being honest, completely heal after those types of instances.
Really?
Yeah, I still, when I think about those things, I feel very nauseous thinking about them, and I have a lot of anxiety about them.
From the past things you've been the first
From the past things, and also the fear of it happening again, which is a really unhealthy place to be, because sometimes when I have an opportunity that's really exciting and awesome, and I'm excited about it, I have a little voice in my head that goes, you could be the first again, and it's gonna be horrific all over again. And that's a very tainted type of evil that's in all things to come. I haven't been able to reconcile that.
So based on this framework, how would you coach yourself if you were stepping outside?
Yeah, this is great. I love that this is a therapy. Thank you. I can cancel my therapy session tomorrow. This is fantastic. Okay.
Honestly, how would you coach yourself if calm, peaceful, loving Lilly was sitting in front of you?
Right.
What would she say to you?
The first thing I would say
with
is,
that fear,
with the relationship with myself, I just finished telling you about how we easily define ourselves. I just defined myself as the first. I just did that. But if I change that wording from you're not the first, you are someone that loves to try new things, and then you get put into a circumstance where it's unfamiliar territory. I can actually empathize with that person a lot more. So already that feels better to me, that you're not the first. You're someone who tried something new and got on this path, and now it's unfamiliar, so allow yourself some grace.
That's cool.
With my relationship with the universe, I would say that, hey, the universe has provided an opportunity to you, right? So yes, it's scary, but it's also an opportunity, and you should focus on that part of it, because this will be an exchange in some types. You will gain no matter what you will gain something from everything. The worst heartaches in life, you will still gain something from them. So I will remind myself that.
Yeah.
Understanding distraction will play a big role here, because all the reviews and comments and people putting pressure on me are actually distractions from what my actual goal is, which is to do something cool and try something new and do my best and find fulfillment. So all these things people are saying are actually irrelevant. Of course, it might mean a lot to them, but I actually do not owe to anyone to make history for them. I can only talk about my own experience. I can't talk about theirs. So I have to take away the permission I've given them to tell me what I should be doing in the situation. And then implementing design. This can get real. Oh, this intense news cycle is going to happen? I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to put myself in the position to hear these things or be in those rooms where those intense conversations happen. I'm going to remove myself. Or implementing design is also, okay, I actually want to really do well in this situation. How can I build the best possible scenario where this thing is fun and I can actually enjoy it? So that's how I'd work through it. Did I just do it? I think I did it. I think I just did it.
That sounds peaceful to me.
Yeah. Wow, the first one really hit me, the taking away the definition of first.
Yeah, because it sounds like I've been hearing you putting this identity on yourself, this label for years. I've always been doing the first, and the pressure, the weight, the identity that you've held on to. Seems like that's not serving you, that identity.
Yeah, you're right, because when people call me the first, they're also giving me that identity without giving me context.
Yes.
No, not only are you the first, but you're going to be doing something no one else has done. You're going to be trying something new. It's going to be scary. You know how lovely it would be if in an interview someone said, I'm sure it's really scary to be the first, and I'm sure you're going to be trying new things. And like, tell me about that. But no one ever asked that question.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
No one
yeah.
ever asked it in that context because I'm not given the context.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
That seems like a good framework, though. This framework works. We're testing it live. It's working.
Boom.
I love it. Is there any other fears you think you'll need to?
The great thing about life is so creative. The universe is so creative. You know when you were younger and you're like, oh my God, I lost my best friend. This is the worst pain I could ever feel. And then the universe was like, hold my beer because I'm going to introduce you to 17 more things that are
Yeah.
painful. Humans always think what they're going through right now is the most painful thing ever. But the universe is very creative. The universe will come up with new ways to both gift you and torment you.
Right.
And so the goal is to build a framework that can last those things, even the ones you haven't met yet.
Right.
And so I'm sure there'll be many other fears that I haven't even thought of yet.
But the more you implement this framework, the
Exactly.
more, I guess, resourceful, the more confident you'll be with any new challenge that comes your way.
Absolutely. No, actually being passionate about something and having fun while doing it, they're really undervalued. We don't value fun and passion enough, I feel.
I know.
I never did in my life.
Do you value now?
I do now.
You do more now?
I do.
You seem more relaxed.
I am more relaxed.
Yeah, it's good.
No, but I'm learning a lot of things. Because my parents, I had never in my entire life